jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
First in the building, Samar Warren. What's good? Peace and blessings below. Salute. WCS certified stamp the like button. Yes, sir. Appreciate you pulling up to the boulevard, man. Big blunts and boxing on deck. The goal is in the building. Salute. Smash the like on the way in. Let me smoke my blunt and medicate before the show begins. No doubt. Stickum Boys Fishing and Sports on deck. Salute WCS. Salute chat fam. Yes, sir. We in the building. Juice Lee on deck. Salute to you, Juice. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out. Toby Bartlett. Salute WCS and the chat. We're global, baby. We're global. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I be who I be. OG, what up, pimping? What's good, player? How you feeling? I be who I be on deck. Yes, sir. Haynes Legacy in the building. Salute. The wife said you're hilarious. What's good, Haynes Legacy in the building? Till I said, appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to you and the family, Haynes. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you pulling up as always, supporting the channel, man. Samar said, salute, Mr. Bartlett, aka Mr. International. We are international over here. I'm glad you're doing this live, OG, because Boxing News 24 ain't no better than the Alphabet Boys on YouTube. His editorials are cheeks and bias against Crawford and have been for years. At least I'm not the only one. You know, at least I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? It's atrocious. It is absolutely atrocious. You know what I'm saying? Stain, Boxing News 24 has no writers. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've basically looked at their style, and if you're saying they all the same from no style, okay, I can get it. But some of them are okay. First of all, let me get to what this live is about, right? Big shout out to everyone that's in the building, man. You know, when I read these articles from these places, being that I used to write at one point in time for a magazine, it seems like they have no editor and they don't know shit about boxing, bro. So Boxing News has been repeat offenders on this. And you know, especially talking about this topic, Crawford Spence, you know, I was just frolicking around, you know. I was just frolicking through the YTC streets, reading, you know what I'm saying? And I ran across this article by Chris Williams, who is known to be a biased reporter. And I don't know if he even covered the sport, to be honest with you. But this dude is up here saying some things that's not even true. I don't know if they copy and paste and they just go on a hard drive and look this stuff up and put it into an article. But really, the skills, like really, if you look at the level, if you want to call this journalism, it's below. It's way down at the bottom of the trash can. You know what I'm saying? It's way. I'm talking about Summers, and Summers a dumpster juice in this. Summers. I'm talking about with the hatches open, flies in that motherfucker, raccoons. You know, raccoons don't sit up here and had babies up in the motherfucking dumpster juice. The way they write these articles, for real. So they wrote an article on Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Primarily what Errol Spence said. They want to write an article on Errol Spence basically saying Crawford's resume was a 0.5 on the greatest scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. So they was attempting to write an article on it, right? So let's get down to the article. You know what I'm saying? Let me bring you up to the article because I have to share screen with this. I have to share screen with this so you can see for yourselves. Because sometimes people, a lot of human beings are visual learners. You know what I'm saying? They're visual. And this is no better time than show you some visual, educational material of atrocious journalism. Atrocious, y'all. So let me share screen right quick. So here we are. It should be coming up shortly. So come on now. Why are you tripping? Why are you tripping? You know what I'm saying? It should be already out there, man. So this is the author, so to speak, Chris Williams, published June 27th, which is tada. Okay, which is tada. He starts off the article. Errol Spence Jr. let fans know what he thinks of Terrence Crawford resume in a brief PBC interview in which they were both based to rate each other's skills and resume ahead of their July 29th super fight on Showtime pay-per-view, right? It goes on to say right here, on a scale, on a 1 to 10 scale, IBF WBAD, he got that right. Welterweight champion Spence, 28-0, 22 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Wow, he can cut and paste, can't he? Rated Crawford's 15-year professional resume at a lowly. Everybody sing along. Lowly, lowly. Whoa, lowly. I don't think I ever really heard that word for real. In all my years of education, you know what I'm saying, including adult conversation, I just never heard lowly used in that context. 15-year professional resume at a lowly 0.5, meaning he doesn't even see him hitting at 1. Now, check out the rhythm. That wasn't me now. That wasn't me. Check out the rhythm. He said, Spence, 28-0, 22 knockouts, rated Crawford's 15-year professional resume at a lowly 0.5, meaning he doesn't even see him hitting a 1. Ooh, wow, blistering. Ooh, blistering. He goes on to say, in a perfect world, Crawford would have already fought the best in each weight class that he competed in, as he would be so much more popular than he is today. Now, who else was he supposed to fight besides Julius Ndongo? Chris, is it true what Juice is saying? Is Juice lying on you, or is he telling me the truth? Did he just tell me something I didn't know? Are y'all all the same person? Because I don't know why y'all have to be different people if the content is garbage. You know what I'm saying? People don't buy multiple trash cans. You know what I'm saying? And say, I'm going to put the good garbage in here. I'm gonna put the bad garbage. I'm gonna put the funky garbage in there. I'm gonna put the garbage that has a lot leaking, a lot of trash is leaking over here. No, I mean a lot of what's coming from over here is trash. Real talk. You say in a perfect world, Crawford would have already had 2 belts in 140. He just released this article today. Now he said in a perfect world, Crawford would have fought the best in the division. Multiple championships moving up. Multiple championships, y'all. And he says in a perfect world, y'all, Crawford would have already fought the best in each weight class that he competed in. This guy is preposterous. Listen to this dude. Let's go on to the next paragraph. He said, moreover, boxing fans would have an easier time. That's his word. Would have an easier time predicting how he'd do against Spence. That hasn't happened, unfortunately. So fans are clueless, making their predictions based on Crawford's shaky resume. This dude I'm talking about, when you're talking about dementia, he has something going on, y'all. He can't be an avid boxing fan. This guy is up here talking about predictions. You're wanting fans, not casual boxing fans, but you're giving credit to daily boxing fans. I'm talking about consistent boxing fanatics. You want them to give predictions, and you respect that they're giving predictions, even though a lot of these people never stepped in the ring. It would be easier for people to predict if Crawford would have fought the best in his divisions, which obviously you haven't even gave it a chance to check his divisions. You're not even trying to do your research. You're sitting up here just typing just because you got free time on your hands. Obviously, you weren't trying to put this article out for substance, man. You weren't trying to put this article out for substance. That is absolute garbage, man. It's not even recyclable. This is the type of garbage you just throw in that motherfucker and kick the bag out, put it in the damn trash shit, and be gone, man. Like, this is not even recyclable. There's nothing I can use for this, right? But he's talking about Crawford didn't fight the best in the division. But yet Julius Ndongo had 2 titles when he fought him, and he was undefeated, right? So that brings me to the next paragraph. He says Spence also has little faith in Crawford punch resistance after seeing him stunned in fights. Now it gets down to the spaghetti and hot dogs. Those of you that grew up off that. Now it gets down to the delicacy. Oh my God. We're talking about 5-star. We're getting down to the sauce, the spices. You know what I'm saying? Everything to just give this flavor that he's looking for. Now we get to the infamous Gamboa fight. The infamous. Look, they are stuck in an enigma, y'all. Every time somebody mentioned Crawford, they mentioned Gamboa. Wow. Gamboa, he said, damn, I wish I can get paid off my name, image, and likeness, because every time a Crawford debate come up, these idiots mention freaking Gamboa 9 years ago, y'all. So he said Spence also has little faith in Crawford's punch resistance after seeing him stunned in fights against lesser opposition, y'all. Lesser opposition. David Avanesian, listen to the A word, y'all, appeared to have Crawford looking dazed and ready to hit the deck last December, and witnessed Egis Kavaliauskas put the Nebraska native down in their clash in 2019. Wow. This guy right here. This guy said that Egis Kavaliauskas put him down. You know what I'm saying? And David Avanesian appeared to have Crawford looking dazed and ready to hit the deck, y'all. He was ready to hit the deck. What fights are these guys? This guy listen, and when do they test? Is these guys just sitting in a dark room with a lamp, overweight, honey bun wrappers all over the place, all these empty goddamn Pepsi bottles everywhere? What is going on with these guys? Do they sleep on the job? I'm talking about they roll out of the chair into the freaking mattress that's on the floor, get some Z's, and come back and write. This can't be somebody that's prepping themselves to put this information out to the public, y'all. There's no way this dude is prepping himself. He's not researching. He's not researching. He said Crawford was dazed and ready to go, man. He was ready to hit the deck. Did y'all see that? Is there anybody in this chat that witnessed the same fight that this dude talked about? I would have rather him talk about the gloves that was messing up, how the gloves was coming apart, from him touching David Avanesian in the skull. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the gloves were starting to come apart. I would have rather him spoken on that instead of, making up all these lies and trying to write a damn soap opera story. It's just an atrocious, horrible article of extreme ex parte. Ex parte is leaning heavy to one side. Ignis Fatuus. Oh my God, misleading in all areas. All fucking areas, y'all. So let's get to the important aspect of him saying Crawford last 15 wins, people. I'm not telling you not to go over here and read these articles, but I don't want you ever to go out here and disseminate information that you read here without fact checking. This article is atrocious, man. He's delirium. He said Crawford's last 15 fights. He gives you the list, right? He gives you the list. He said Spence has been matched tough. Look, listen, right here. Spence has been matched tough by his promoters. Spence has been matched tough by his promoters. Who is his promoter? Who actually does the matchmaking? If y'all come up with that, can y'all just put it in the chat? So Spence has been matched tough, y'all. I'm talking about Ford freaking tough. Spence has been matched tough by his promoters who weren't afraid to put him in with the best during his career. Whoo! I got to get my Ric Flair on with that. He said Spence has been matched tough by his promoters. So, of course, I had to go do a little bit of research because I'm just smelling the sewage that was seeping from this. So I had to go do a little bit of homework myself, right? So I went and did a little bit of homework based off the last 15, wins that Crawford had. Being he's undefeated, that would be all of them. The last 15, right? So therefore, as I was going through, first of all, I did accountability first because I knew that this guy was just putting information out there and he wasn't even giving a damn about how it looked, how it sounded, and what it actually didn't mean. So I took his freaking last 15 wins and noticed that he somehow left out Felix Diaz. Why? You said the last 15. You trying to tell me a Pepsi honey bun eating, you know what I'm saying? No need for 5-hour energy because you up all the time, sleep all the time, up all the time. You left off Felix Diaz? So I did some calculations. I put these guys' record up here from David Avanesian all the way to Yorkis Gamboa. Yorkis Gamboa, he makes this a list of 16. But when I did the tallies, I left Gamboa out, right? So I calculated all the wins of the last 15 opponents of Terrence Crawford, which was not campaigning in the welterweight division for these last 15 fights. Okay, we know that to be true. And it came up to be 404 wins. Also, with these last 15, to exclude Gamboa, okay, so that means I did add Felix Diaz one loss. It came up to 32 total losses in the last 15 fights of Crawford. That's inside the welterweight division and outside the welterweight division, right? Also, I went and tallied up Spence last 15 opponents, and it came up to 425 wins. So, being that we know Spence has been fighting in the welterweight division much longer of a campaign than Crawford, he had opponents that had more wins. Kudos to Mikey Garcia for having that high number. You know what I'm saying? Mikey Garcia had that high number of wins when he came over here and fought Spence. Yes, he did. 39, I believe. That kind of put you up there. If you would have took Mikey Garcia out the equation, would have been shaky, just like that split decision for Porter. But when I cleared my calculator to verify these numbers, I then tallied the losses of Spence's last 15 opponents. And long behold, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. I tallied the total amount of losses of Spence's last 15 wins, and it came up 37 losses, which is higher than Crawford's 32 losses when it comes to his last 15 opponents. I said, gee willikers, this is bonkers. What are we talking about here? This guy was saying that Crawford was lowly matched. You know what I'm saying? Lowly matched. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep that word near and dear to my heart because it sounds a little bit funny. A lowly. When I tallied up the wins for both of their last 15 opponents, Spence opponents had more wins. You know, granted, he's been in the division longer, but we're going to give him credit with the thumbs up that his last 15 opponents had more wins than Crawford last 15 opponents, right? And then for the losses, from listening to Chris, Spence total last 15 opponents, their losses came up to 37. Opposite of a lesser value than 32 when it comes to Crawford. Now, that's not really nothing to brag about, you know what I'm saying? But I am anyway. 5. Crawford opponents had 5 less defeats than Errol Spence last 15 opponents. Kudos. Nope, we couldn't stop there, people. We couldn't stop there. So I went and I wanted to tally up the losses of the last 7 opponents. The reason why this is intriguing, this is very, very intriguing to me, is because people tend to be amped up off the fact that Spence said he rated him a 0.5. So I said, okay, if you rate his resume as 0.5 and 7 of those fights have been in the welterweight division, so let's look at the last 7 opponents. And see how many losses or defeats they have. And when you know both fighters, last 7 opponents, have the same amount of defeats, totaling 12. Now, if you're paying attention, I'm just testing you now. If you're paying attention, I'm trying to give you a little bit of Chris Williams by printing the wrong shit. I'm trying to test you a little bit now. You know how my sense of humor just get out of control now. I'm telling you about how Chris Williams be putting shit out there that make you seem like you on crack. He make you seem like you're just walking around and you look down, and goddamn, it's a needle in your arm. You like, damn, I knew I was feeling funny. How that shit get there? If you was to total up the defeats, of the last 12 opponents, you would get 12 each, port and starboard, 12 defeats per. I put wins up there because I am basically paying homage to Chris Williams for printing trash, misleading information, propaganda. You're not even taking the time out to just research and just find out an article just so simple as this. If you want to talk about the 0.5, I mean, I've seen you put this type of information out there before. If you're looking at this live, correct that last 15. Felix Diaz should be in between those two, okay? Okay, do your homework. You can't leave no Felix Diaz out 19-1. You said the man wasn't fighting the best. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave that out. You got to be exact, man. You got to make sure you get the right ones in there. If you're going to say the last 15, the way you was writing, you should have said the last 13. Put a little spookiness in there. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I know he didn't land on 13, did he? He missed a fighter. Also, we know this to be true about Crawford's opponents when it comes down to undefeated. The Yorkis Gamboas, the Victor Postals, you know what I'm saying? The Julius Ndongos, the Jeff Horns, Jose Benavidez, Igis Kavalaskis. We got to salute all the undefeated fighters that Crawford fought also. But to hear Chris tell it, he don't know the value of a zero when it comes to boxing. He don't know the value, man. He didn't really go in detail with this. He just cut and pasted, and he just wanted the dog out. He just wanted the dog Crawford out, man. That's all that was. Let's get back to this so-called article, because I can't consider it to be a boxing article. There's no way in hell that's a boxing article. Let's go back over here. So he's saying that Spence had been matched up tough by his promoters and who weren't afraid to put him in the best during his career. Then you go on in the article. Look at this. They love it, y'all. That's why I had to put him in the thumbnail. They love it. I think some of these dudes want to date Gamboa. It's, oh man, a Cuban. Oh man, I want papi, ven aquí, papi, ven aquí, papi, aquí. I think some of these dudes are extremely admiring Gamboa. You know what I'm saying? I never seen a bunch of grown ass males mention an older dude. Back in the day, what was it that Gamboa was doing that excited y'all, that fancied your interest? This dude says little. He starts off by saying little now. This dude probably weighing 463.5 pounds as we speak from eating donuts all night. Little 5'5" Gamboa staggered Crawford in their 2014 fight. This nigga had the nerve to put the year 2014 because he's hating. He says staggered Crawford in their 2014 fight and missed finishing him when the round ended. He missed finishing Crawford when the round ended. So I must ask you all this in good faith, because there's some boxing scholars in the chat. What round did Gamboa hurt Terrence Crawford? And what round did the fight end? Chris, this is not to you. You stay your ass over there in in-house detention. No, you're not qualified to be a part of this boxing conversation. He said little 5'5" Gamboa staggered Crawford in their 2014 fight and missed finishing him when the round ended. Can y'all tell me when did Gamboa hurt Crawford and the round that he hurt him in, and what round did the fight end? Because to hear him say it, Chris, Chris is saying that Gamboa, oh man, just by the hair of his chin, oh man, he almost finished Crawford and handed him his first defeat. Can somebody please check that for me? I would truly appreciate it, because I looked at that fight numerous of times, and I'm trying to find out what Chris could get the year, but he couldn't get the right details on how the fight ended and what happened when Gamboa hurt Crawford. What happened after that? What happened? If somebody has the information, when I'm about to go to the chat anyway, but just please put it in there. Just insert that information into the chat for educational purposes to the listeners, to the replay gang, and everybody, so they can know when Chris Williams is behind his keyboard, you know what I'm saying, fumbling through all the rappers of the Twix, Ho Ho Ding Dongs, granola bars, you know what I'm saying? When he's trying to find out is the milk that he's had out for 3 to 4 days is still good to drink. Even when he shakes it up, it doesn't move. Chris went on to say, Crawford is one of many fighters that have been carefully moved during their careers by their well-meaning promoters. Well-meaning? Wow. These conjuncts and what is this? They're well-meaning promoters? Now listen, earlier you was pretty much saying that this man, let me go back up here to what he said earlier, because you're not making any sense. We already know that. It said this hasn't happened, unfortunately, so fans are clueless, making their predictions about. That's not it. Hold on for a second. Where is it? Well, anyway, I wanted to highlight what he said early in the article about Crawford's promoter. You know what I'm saying? And how he was matched. And he downplayed that. He downplayed the hell out of it. He said Spence has been matched tough by his promoters, right? But down here, he's talking about that Crawford is one of many fighters that have been carefully moved, y'all, during their careers by this strange comparisons, right? We have individuals that love comparing boxing to a team sport. He says if he were an NFL team, you're talking about one person being an NFL team, because I thought it's no need even try to explain it. If he were an NFL team, he would have been matched against largely 9 to 7 and 8 to 8 teams to arrive at a 6-0 record. Chris, that is the dumbest shit that I've heard in 2023. You cannot be an adult. I'm gonna go out on a limb, bro. You was born with some birth defects, nigga. You can't be for real. This dude, if Crawford, that look, little old Crawford, man, fighting little old Gamboa, little old Crawford, dog, from Omaha. It's just little itty bitty Crawford fighting little itty bitty Gamboa. How can two small itty bitty people be so large in the conversations of these boxing fans? How can you say if he were an entire NFL team now, you're taking a single human and you want him to play every position? You up here saying, I am going to supersize because I've spoken to Crawford so small, I'm going to put him in the category of the Matrix. I'm going to lock him into the Matrix. I'm going to allow him to be more people than he can possibly do if he was mortal. So I'm gonna lock him into the matrix. This dude said if he was an NFL team, he would have been matched against largely 9-7 and 8-8 teams to arrive at a 6-0 record. Lord God Almighty, if it's any extra crosses that you have that's burning right now, you need to put this man on there and say, you know what? You had the freedom of speech down there, but you goddamn abused the fuck out of it. I have to punish you for that. You are abusing your right on that platform, talking some bullshit like this, bro. This is boxing talk. Why are you comparing Crawford's resume and trying to make it make sense? Now you're trying to basically validate the bullshit you done wrote so far to now NFL teams. And you're trying to say, without looking at his last 7 opponents at welterweight, not identifying that he has a lot of individuals, a lot of fighters on his record who was undefeated. Undefeated. You're trying to say that the reason why Terrence Crawford, who came into the welterweight division after Spence, is getting all this exposure is because he doesn't have a resume? No, that can't be true. That has to be false. There's no way in hell that Crawford can be getting this much exposure from having a mediocre resume when he came into the welterweight division after Spence. Why is he in the conversation? Errol Spence has been in the welterweight division forever, man. He came out the Olympics in 2012, right? He's been in there long before, long before Crawford. How in the hell can Crawford's name be considered a talking point when it comes to Errol Spence if he hasn't had the body of work to place him there? How is he at the scene of the crime there, Chris? How is he in your conversation just because he's fighting Spence in a freaking mega fight, as you call it? That's the reason why. So how is he getting to the mega fight? If this man won the WBO title, why hasn't any 7 of those opposition? No, I would say 6. Okay. Well, I would say 7. I'm gonna keep it at 7 because Jeff Horn could have defended his title and won if he was that guy. Why couldn't big ass Australian outback connoisseur, undefeated? Why couldn't Jeff Horn stop Crawford from picking up the title? Since he was so small, moving up from 140, he was a small dude. But this dude said a 9-7 and 8-8 teams to arrive at 6-0 record, 16-0. Who the fuck is 16-0 right now? We're talking about somebody who has 39 victories and has more knockouts than Errol Spence has wins in his professional career. And you're talking about football? Football. We're not talking about the dude that's going out here stopping his opposition. We're talking about football. Football? That's what we're talking about. We ain't talking about the fighter that's on the pound for pound list and a future Hall of Famer and a 3-weight world champion and multiple championships to his name. You know what I'm saying? Just so much that he has to his resume right now. And you're comparing him to a 6-0 record. Man, this dude is not fit for duty. I swear to God, he ain't. Let's go on. It goes down here to say, and y'all bear with me. Hit the like button if you're in the building. Hit the like button. And I do apologize. Usually when I speak to people that's under addiction, I take it a little bit more easier. But this fool is out his motherfucking mind. We're going to see on July 29th how Crawford handles being matched against his first elite opponent in Spence. I need to back that up. I need the moonwalk. I need to slide. We're going to see on July 29th how Crawford handles being matched against his first elite level opponent in Spence. Will Crawford be able to handle it and rise to the occasion? or will he get exposed by Spence and shown to be another example of a fighter that took advantage of a weak matchmaking? Now, this is puzzling to me because, once again, let me expose you, Chris. I think you're turning 14 tomorrow, because you can't be older than 14, 13, somewhere along that, right? Let me help you understand something. You did nothing but diminish his resume already. So if the readers are basically stand attached and they didn't already close the tab out, they would have seen that you already said that he's been matched up against, weekly opposition. That's what you refer to, weekly opposition. WEAK, right? Weekly opposition. And he hasn't fought nobody. And you put up his last 15 opponents, even though you left off Felix Diaz, right? And you just said that pretty much he's been carefully moved. Gamboa almost had him about to hit the canvas. That's what you said. Gamboa almost had him about to hit the canvas before the round ended, knowing that the fight ended via knockout, via stoppage by Terrence Crawford. You didn't even give that man credit. But now in this little summation right here, you says that he's going in there with his first elite opponent. And then you go on to further say, or will he get exposed? What is there to expose if you are already doing it? You're already putting information out here and saying that he hasn't fought nobody. He hasn't fought nobody. You speak on the banality of his resume all the time. If you're going to use such banter like that, at least make it make sense there, Chris. You can't sit up here and write shit out here for people to read, and it makes no sense. Who gives a fuck about an elite level opponent if, like you and a lot of aerosexuals, y'all sit up here and downgrade? Y'all attempt to downgrade the appraising value of Terrence Crawford's resume, but yet you cannot explain where the paperwork is at to basically remove him from the pound for pound list. Okay, remove Terrence Crawford from the pound for pound list because somehow there is fraud. Somebody has been accused of fraud in this case because he has always been ahead of Errol Spence on the pound for pound list. Even Brian Custer, shout out to Brian for asking the question. Errol, do you feel some type of way about Crawford being ahead of you on the pound for pound list? Don't that just stings you up? Don't you get just furious? You know what I'm saying? Even Brian Custer, he knows that Crawford's been ahead of Errol Spence on the pound for pound list. I'm asking you, Chris, and the aerosexuals, man, and the other mongerers that just hang around just to be popular. How can in your narrative, how can Crawford be exposed by Spence? If he's never fought nobody on Spence level, and you consider him to be nothing to begin. Right now, you consider this man to be nothing. He's bona fide lower tier when y'all speak of this man. How is he going to get exposed by Spence? Shouldn't you have said the other way around? Will Spence get exposed by Crawford? Because you wouldn't dare want Spence going into the ring fighting a fighter that doesn't supposed to be there, who isn't qualified to be there, who's absolutely did nothing to deserve a space across the square from Spence, except somehow, some way, win another title in another division. He won the WBO title when he moved up. So how can you continue to say, well, will he get exposed? What's to be exposed? Shouldn't you have to, and don't you have to be at a certain level of gratitude and people identify you as that to say there he's up here per his resume, he shouldn't be that high, but we're gonna leave him up there anyway because yeah, he has earned it. Y'all don't even want to say that Crawford's earned his spot. Y'all don't even want to give the man credit for earning his spot. Never taking step aside money, fighting his mandatories when he's supposed to, unlike some people. And then they sit up there and brag. You can say what you want, but Errol Spence fought his mandatory and Danny Garcia. Woo! Whoopee! Come on, bro. Come on, man. What about the other belts? What about the other belts? Chris, let me move on. Cause I don't want to stay in this trash dump too long. You know, if you walk around in the landfill too much, you bound to cut yourself on some motherfucking sharp objects and get your foot infected. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stay around here too long. He goes on to say, while some boxing fans might think Spence is joking, that's not likely to be the case. He was never been impressed. It's not my English, y'all. After I get out of here, I'm calling my first grade teacher and tell her, can you come by and tutor? Are you still, healthy enough to tutor? I need you to tutor somebody. While some boxing fans might think Spence is joking, that's not likely to be the case. He was never been impressed. He was never been impressed, y'all. I'm trying to hook y'all and turn y'all on to game now, especially y'all that's up here that got kids. I'm trying to turn y'all on to vernacular gaming. He was never been impressed with the level of opposition that Crawford's former promoters at Top Rank were matching him against. That he's no longer with them, not much has changed. So listen, this is obviously a teenager, and he said not much has changed because he put this out today, but you're playing around like you're on shrooms, meth, Flocka, you know what I'm saying? K3, 4, 6, 7. He on some shit. Because this dude, just a couple paragraphs, he said, we're going to see on July 29th how Crawford handles being matched against his first elite. But then down here, you're talking about nothing much has changed. Dude, what the fuck you on, bro? Like, but now that he's no longer with them, not much has changed. He's about to step in the ring with who you said was his first elite fighter. And then you go on to say, oh, or will he get exposed? But then you say nothing has changed. Man, you don't have it. You don't have it. And I definitely left him. Look, I left him a comment down there. I just left him a nice little comment. And this was a summation disguised as a boxing article is comedic. No one, not even you, believe TC, Terrence Crawford, resume is a 0.5, especially two common opponent in Kell Brook and Sean Porter, both decimated in early fashion by Crawford. Do you possess a fiber of integrity to say Crawford has been matched weekly in his career? Tardy the facts of Brook and Porter consistently being honorable mention when asked who's Spence's best opposition to date? Crawford has fought more world champions, more undefeated fighters, longest tenure as a pound-for-pound fighter, and easily more knockouts than Spence has wins. And I just kept it at that. Something simple. I just kept it at that. This is one of the worst pieces of material that is considered media, considered journalism. It is one of the worst articles. And this is not the first time I've highlighted, Boxing News 24 and Chris. This is not the first time I highlighted him. So this time around, I truly understand where he's at with it, why he's acting the way he's acting. Why he's sitting up here just throwing shit together like he's learning how to, crochet for the first time, man. You know what I'm saying? He's learning how to crochet for the first time in his life. This what I thought about when I was reading this article, because the information was so false, man. It was frivolous information, man. It meant absolutely nothing to the boxing public at all. This is just like humor. This is shit you just put out there to make people, come and say, "Oh man, oh WCS, yeah, thank you for giving me attention." He's probably listening to me. He's probably so happy that he tried to run into the kitchen, and he forgot he had all them empty Pepsi bottles over there. You know what I'm saying? Fell his fat ass on the floor. And then when he was on the floor, he found out he had some goddamn wrappers that still had some desserts in it. So he just stayed there, ate the dessert, got a good nap in, and then got up and went back to work. It's that simple. You can't sit up here and tell me that you came home, you got comfortable, made yourself some coffee, some nice, fresh Folgers. You're sitting there sipping, watching a little television, and you say, "Okay, I'm feeling good. Time to get back to this boxing. I love it. It's my passion." You trying to tell me this dude walked into a room, a tidy room at that, sat down and started to write these articles today, and wrote this article and felt good about it when he read it from start to finish? It felt good about lying on Crawford like that. I mean, that's some garbage, man. Let me remind you of something right quick, right? Little 5'5" Gamboa staggered Crawford in their 2014 fight and missed finishing him when the round ended. All right. Missed finishing him when the round ended. Not to mention that whenever someone speaks of, Crawford, they love bringing in Gamboa. And I'm saying y'all need to pay this man some compensation. Gamboa, y'all need to pay that man for his name, image, and likeness, man. Because every time he is forever attached to Crawford. Even when Crawford goes in here and beats Spence on July 29th, y'all still gonna get on here and say, "Well, he looked better than he did with Gamboa." I ain't gonna lie, man. I didn't expect him to goddamn do that, the Spence like that. But all I know, man, Gamboa had him out on his feet, man. He was almost, dang, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn. Man, I thought Spence was better than Gamboa, though, but sheesh, man. Damn. Man, I thought for sure Crawford being hurt by Gamboa, this would be an easy fight for Spence. And then I'd be like, the fight was 9 years ago. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter, man. Like, he's chinny. Crawford's chinny. I mean, that's they say that shit based off the strength of Gamboa, y'all. It's still so-called boxing fans out here making me laugh, continuing to say that Crawford is chinny all because he's been wobbled. Spence has been wobbled. They make no mention of it. Oh, no, not even. His shoelace. Stepped on his shoelace. Come on, the ref saw it. That's why he called time. The ref never called time. Yeah, he did. Get him out of here. Wrenches. Block him. You know what I'm saying? They never identify when Spence has been hurt in his boxing career. Never, y'all. They never mention that Spence was dropped in his amateur career. They never mention the shit, y'all. They busy talking about Crawford fighting 5'5" Gamboa to this day. Let me get to the chat. To this motherfucking day, y'all. I know. Listen, like I said, I don't talk for no grown ass man, right? I don't talk for no man, but it has to be moments in Crawford, right? Being that he's earned his shit out the mud, right? It has to be moments when he's running the steps. He get to the highest point, right? He get up there and he's like, if Gamboa was at the bottom of this motherfucker, he'd look like an ant. I really couldn't even see, him like that as he's a human being. He would be so small. You know what I'm saying? Because, he said Gamboa's 5'5". He said, just to think no matter how much I separate myself, no matter how many years pass, no matter how much time I continue to win, how many times I continue to win, I continue to do great, be great. I continue to achieve. I continue to knock these guys out. You still have people pretending to be boxing fans that will always bring up a Gamboa fight. Gamboa, the time he fought Gamboa, who was undefeated, is going on a decade, y'all. A decade. A decade. This fight is going on a decade, y'all. And casual boxing fans who call themselves hardcore fanatics are still bringing up information about Gamboa, just like this casual Chris. Chris is still bringing up Gamboa and basically highlighting him as if it matters. He's up here talking, oh, he almost had him out on his feet to hit the deck. Come on, you're not watching the fight, obviously. You're not paying attention. You don't give a damn about what you're putting out. You're basically hitting sin to propaganda. That's what you're doing. You're putting out propaganda. You're putting out absolute false, misleading, extremely biased information out to the public. Let's see who's in the chat. Appreciate those of you that donated to the channel. I'm getting to the super chats right away. Karate Body, salute to the $20 super chat, my brother. Much appreciated and salute for supporting the channel. Yes, sir. WCS in the chat. I'm pretty sure this Chris Williams guy is a troll that's written several disparaging articles about Bud. Just do a simple Google search. I've challenged him on other pieces he's written regarding different fighters. Okay. All right. I will do my due diligence and try to find an empty piece or a shoebox that's on the side of the road with the lid on it, and I will do my due diligence to try to find him. I appreciate you putting that information out there. I will go far and wide. I will even wait till the nighttime and cut on my flashlight on my phone and search under rocks. You know what I'm saying? Thick brush, public garbage cans. I will try to find this dude because he's putting out trash. So if he's putting out trash, he has to be somewhere close to the dumpster. You know what I'm saying? Behind these quick trips. He has to be somewhere close by, man. Goddamn, with a keyboard in his hand, eating on some leftover food they threw out. I'm gonna try to find him there, Karate Body, for real. Salute to the $20 super chat, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. Haynes say this is sick. It is sick, ain't it? This is beyond sick, man. Seriously. This right here doesn't make any sense, but you can't allow it to consume you, man, because like they say, like Karate Body said, like Juice Lee put in here, this guy right here has a platform. I don't know if he's one of the founders. I don't know if he's just an admin, a writer. Obviously, they don't check. It's no editor that's being paid. They're able to just put out information to bring traction to the site and for people to pay them attention. I think that's what it is. Just like Karate Body said, trolling. This guy's obviously trolling, man. And then for them to have such, when it comes to him just being gallimimus, period, the way he words is extremely undeveloped for a grown adult, extremely undeveloped. So you would not write as you're writing like that. And he might be a troll. He might just say, let me speak some broken English and shit like that. NYT, what's good with it, bro? Chris Williams had better not be planning on visiting Omaha anytime soon. In fact, he better not go near Nebraska. Hope he doesn't run out of gas if he's ever driving through. Hey, man, nobody will never know who this dude is. Real talk. No one never know who he is, bro. It can be somebody that's sitting and frequenting these chats every day, and you will never know who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting up here putting out this junk. This junk. You know what I'm saying? This is junk. That's what he's putting out, junk. They need to have psychological examination before they hire these writers. Is he hired? Is he hired, MD? And shout out to MD Mills on deck, man. Is he hired? Who did that? Is this man hired or he a friend of the families? We don't know what it consists of, the entire group that is with Boxing News 24. We don't know the entire group, but someone is disseminating articles out that are poorly written and highly misleading, y'all. Shout out to Shaw News and Sox Experience, AK Showtime Shaw on deck. What's good? He said Tom Brown. Okay. So you're talking about promoter over there. So he's saying that, you know, that the promoters over there has moved Errol Spence and matched him with the toughest opponents. The toughest. You know what I'm saying? The toughest opponents over there. But no one really mentions Tom Brown as being the matchmaker. He may have dual duties, but no one really mentions anybody except Al Heyman over there. You know what I'm saying? That is the secrecy. That is the magical part of the wizard, the wonderful wizard. Salute W says Hayden in Old English is different. You know what I'm saying? For real. Gert said, John Noy, July 29th, let's get it. Yes, sir. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Ray Sanders on deck. What's good, WCS in the chat? What's good with it, Ray? You know what I'm saying? 1007 salute. Does Chris mention Arrowhand, Lil Mikey Garcia? He's only 5'5" and came up 2 divisions. Is that match tough? And Arrow didn't get him out of there either. Toby, he's not trying to go there. He's not trying to bring that shade upon Errol Spence. This person probably has some type of tie-in. I don't know with PBC. It's so many guys that's on this YTC that's locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they are in bed with the PBC, bro. They sleeping on bed sheets with a thread count of 28. You know what I'm saying? It's like sleeping on plywood up in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? They are in bed with the PBC when it comes to this boxing shit. He's up here talking about Top Rank, matched him carefully and all that. Man, Top Rank be putting you in there with hitters, dog. Yeah, you can't find fighters over there just fighting, just soft touches. And you like asking yourself, man, why do they even look at this shit? No, man. No, you can't say that about Top Rank, bro. 39-0 Mikey, he would beat everyone on Crawford's record besides Sean Porter. His Spence loss. Well, he didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Last time I checked, who was he? Who did he fight after that though? Did he fight old Jesse Vargas? You know what I'm saying? I mean, is Jesse Vargas on Terrence Crawford resume? Oh, you just coming over here because you're Chris. You put down the ho-ho, you know what I'm saying? And you found some old cake and you're up there chomping on some old, chocolate fudge cake and some dang molded ice cream. Obviously you don't know anything about what you're trying to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't Mikey fight anybody else on Crawford's resume? Why didn't he? He's 39-0, right? He was good enough to get the fight with Errol Spence for the bag, right? So why can't he be highlighted for not stopping a fighter who came up 2 divisions and who had all that 39-0. You know what I'm saying? 39-0, man. If he would have beat everyone on Crawford's record, why didn't he? Why didn't he? Why didn't he start off with beating Errol Spence? Then he could have fought Terrence Crawford for the undisputed titles. I just want you to answer that for me. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't he beat Errol Spence? Because Mikey said he saw something. He saw something. He saw something. Maybe you can do your research and find out what Mikey saw, because only thing he probably seen was the front end of Errol Spence's gloves bouncing off his freaking eyebrow. Bing, 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 bing. And he was trying to cover up them elbows and the body shots. Come on, man. Stop it. What's good? What's good? If he's a product of weak matchmaking, then why don't they include examples of who should have fought in places of the ones he did? Good. That's what I'm talking about. Educated insertion. Educated. Why wouldn't they find alternate names to put in there to build up this article, to build up your argument? I totally agree. I absolutely, totally agree. They should have inserted alternate names, since the welterweight division was thriving with killers. They was getting them clones off the conveyor belt. Real talk. They was building these motherfuckers like, okay, we have the old Rocky in that bitch. We have the old Rocky. We even put Mr. T in that motherfucker too. We got some Hulk Hogan in there. You know what I'm saying? We got the physique. We got some Lex Luger. You know what I'm saying? We got some goddamn Arnold Schwarzenegger. We know we really got a hybrid here. It wasn't like they was putting these hybrid fighters together, and the ranking systems in every sanctioning body 1 through 15 was full of bona fide legitimate killers. Never will it be that way. And when people come over here asking all these questions, I'm not gonna sit up here and answer all the questions. You should have the answers to them already. Just state what you got to say. All the answers. No, they're not gonna get answered by me. Who are these guys he was supposed to be fighting? I don't know, man. Like I said, I wish they would have gave us Area 51 access, man. Maybe some of these guys was located out there. They came off the little shiny, the ship that they see and nobody knows what type of ship it is. The little green guys that hop out that's about 30 feet tall. Maybe they was trying to see how they can transfer a little bit of DNA, to humans, and trying to get them to come in here and change up the history of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Sebastian Fundora would have had nothing on them. Nothing. They would have brought their ass in, stepped over the top rope without even stepping up on the apron. I could see if we had some dudes that was lined up like that, but it was no names that they could give to say, you know what, these fighters right here can step in and that's who Bud need to fight. If they would have said that, then we would have said, okay, Spence need to be fighting them too. Or Spence should have already fought them because he was in a welterweight division before Bud. Don't act like his resume is something to remember now. Come on, man. And we've been through this before. We've been down this road. I'm not going to ride down those speed bumps. Real talk, the level of cognitive dissonance these aerosexuals go to is borderline scary. First of all, Juice. First of all, if you're going to use those $15.18 words, right? At least warn me, right? Because I'm a little bit older now, so when I'm reading shit, you know what I'm saying? I may be going in hot faster than I should. So you gotta goddamn send a pre-warning if you're gonna use a $15.18 word on me now. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying certain people don't like that. They might be reading it on the replay. They might be reading your comments and say, oh man, I can't do this, dog. Fuck it. Man, I hate this chat, man. I hate it, man. They're always trying to act like they're English scholars. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. God damn it, fuck them all. They goddamn mad as hell, dog. Why couldn't he just say something more simple? He took my buzz away. I was up here, I had a nice high going. He just took it away, ripped it. Rebel on deck, he said, Bud didn't get a chance. PBC never gave my boy no chance. PBC kept Crawford away from them talking about he on the other side of the street. That's how I know you guys don't know shit about boxing. Hey, man, PBC said they didn't start that, bro. PBC said they did not start the other side of the street. They have been on record and completely denying that. If you're classifying Crawford's fans as riders, then guess Errol fans are in the orgy line waiting on Spence sexualize y'all one by one. No, man, it's a group effort over there with them aerosexuals now. Come on, Samad. It's a group effort. Them aerosexuals love to be huddled together, man. I told you, if you look at I Am Legend, they make a cameo appearance in there, Samad. Pay attention now. When Will went in there, his dog ran in that building and he was looking for him and it was getting all the motherfucking climactic movie and the sound, the music was playing and shit. And then he flashed that light and you saw them motherfuckers in there breathing heavy. That was the aerosexuals, bro. That's how they congregate and they sit there and they breathe on each other and they just talk and they try to come up with narratives that they all can push. And in the meanwhile, they're sweating, panting. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, yuck. You know what I'm saying? That's what the aerosexuals. I heard these stories for a long time now, man. I was surprised they let them be in that movie like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised, bro. Was Knockout 68 iPad? No. First of all, come on now. You're giving him too much credit. He wouldn't be able to get out the first paragraph, man. For real. He wouldn't be able to get out the first paragraph, man. Stop it. No. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. He wouldn't even know how to open it up. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't even know what to talk about. Seriously. Let's not do that to ourselves. He needs to make sure he has a certain volume of wine already saturating his bloodstream. And then he does not want to go in here and type. He just want to go in here and yell and scream. So this ain't about him. Fuck him, man. You know, he do what he do. He couldn't be able to write shit, man. Mills can't be knocked down. He thinks in the first church of Spence acting like a pastor. Man, it's terrible. It's terrible, bro. It's terrible. It's terrible. Real talk. He fought champions like he's supposed to. Tanks get to fight nobodies and no names and get praise. See, Tank and Crawford is two different fighters, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Two different fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different dynamic, man, of who he signed to. And Tank really at this moment doesn't have a rival. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford has developed into a rival. Without even stepping into the ring for the first time, they've developed a sort of rival based off the content that is put out in the YTC and social media on Facebook and everything. They've been spoken about for quite some time, several years now, and it's been a online social media rival of popularity and unpopularity with these guys. And there's been so much false information spewed out about Terrence Crawford. Of course, they make him out to be the villain. You know what I'm saying? They make him out to be the villain. And then, you know, I seen where 78 had did a thing with, you know, with Kunta Kinte in there. And I don't, it doesn't surprise me because this is the same dude who sat up there and say he hoped Blue strip him down butt to the butt naked or whatever. Just, because he wants to have that visual. He wants to have that visual of Crawford being stripped down butt naked. It just says a lot about where his mindset is. And then to put a thumbnail up there, they're on their Crawford shit, dog. They on that, excoriating him in the media all the time. You know how it is. The PBC froze Bud out after he moved to 147. And none of the welterweights over there will fight him. And Showtime wouldn't say his name. Now all Spence and his fans can say is he didn't fight nobody. Facts. It's good that you brought that up. They wouldn't even say his name. Not only that, they threw shade at him when we was out there in Beverly Hills there, Ray. They said the man was a 2-division champion. You know what I'm saying? They disrespect him. They still disrespect him. That's why I'm curious to know what the split is. I'm curious to know what the split is. I want to know what the split, even though I don't really care about the numbers, I would like to know what the split. I would like to know why Spence is putting it out there that he gave that man more than what they betted. Why are you saying? It's almost like you're saying you're telling people that you're paying for the belt. He said to make the fight happen, I paid him more than what we actually betted. It's pretty much what you're saying. You're proving to people, or you're trying to convince people that you paid for the belt there, Spence. You paid that man over $1 million. And you're trying to make it seem like you it was a side bet. You're trying to make it seem like you had to do that to make the fight. That was a concession. Hold on for a second. But you made a good point, though. You know what I'm saying? That's a good point. They did freeze him out. And you're talking about the way they was, taking shots at him, saying he was on the other side of the street back then. But, I was waiting. Because it's funny you mentioned that, Ray. I was waiting to see how the first presser goes with PBC. Where they show this man unconditional, you know what I'm saying? Where they treat him like, yeah. And they say, and welcome to Division World Champion Terrence. I say, there we go. There we go. They said this man was a 2-division world champion. I just wonder, how is that going to help anything when it comes to fight night? I'm curious. I'm going to be curious from now all the way to the weigh-ins to see the first punch, like my boy Dion say, when the first punch is thrown. I want to know, because this dude is looking real bulky in those pictures. And then, you have very good editing that's going on these days, but he's looking real bulky. And I'm really hoping that he's training for the 147 limit and not Canelo Alvarez. I'm really hoping. You know what I'm saying? Because he looks a little bulky to be on 147 right now. And you're talking about a little over 30 days remaining. Come on, man. Spencer's the first one to talk about size of the street, and that's a fact. Yeah, man. Want to act like it didn't exist, and and all that. But the damning shit was how I did a live on how the easy route ruined him. The easy route ruined him, bro. The entire time he was collecting the WBC and the WBA, he had to think about Bud Crawford. He had to think about the other side of the street. He had to think about trying to lowball that man, trying to get him to complete his manifesto, his welterweight manifesto, and becoming undisputed. He had to think about all that. That had to be extremely stressful. Also, he ended up just having too much time on his hands, taking the easy route, that he got himself in a situation. It's real talk, man. The degenerates write with a certain type of fighter, with a certain type of mentality, if you catch my drift. I agree. I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? They have a certain type of the group of people that they like to congregate around or converse with. You know, people have that type. I see it all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time on here. It plays out on social media all the time. You know, you have a group of people that love just talking shit about people. I mean, just saying some crazy insults, profanity-laced tirades, right? And you got to think about how they put this information out there. And I always say, man, how old are your kids? You know what I'm saying? Your kids gonna get smart enough to try to, you know, to end up figuring out what's going on. Hey, why is mommy or daddy out here yelling? And why are they on here and this and that? Your kids can be online when you're online. They can hear you say one thing. Okay, that's their name. That's their channel name. Okay, and they really find out what's going on. Man, these kids are smart, man. These kids are smart these days, bro. Spence ain't gave Crawford nothing. If he did, who gave Spence his guarantee? True words. But all I'm saying, Ray Wright, you know, he put it out there for the people as if it was information that we needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? He said the question was asked to him about who really made the fight, and he said, you know, I made the fight. He said, I made the fight. And then it was asked about the bet, the $1 million bet that they made. And he say, I gave him that in a concession and then some. And the person asked, how much was the bet? He said, you know, you saw the video. I gave him more than that. So I'm saying to myself, why would you have to accommodate this guy who doesn't deserve your accommodations? He doesn't deserve your treatment. He doesn't deserve your hospitality when it comes to these contracts, this agreement. Especially, check this out, Ray, especially last year, how they said that Crawford was negotiating in bad faith, and he just shocked everybody when he stopped negotiations and went over there to BOK Prime. They was in here on the YTC saying that Al Heyman would never do business with him again because he got up and walked away. Now, where's all this money coming from now? That's my thing. You know, because when Bud presented the hedge fund, they act like that was an act of crime. They act like this man was goddamn trying to commit terrorism or something. Like when he thought he was trying to bring a sense of insurgency to the motherfucking negotiations. But I'm saying to myself, now all of a sudden, you got $1 million to give away, $1 million plus in a bet, a side bet that happened 5 years that you shook on, you giving him and saying to the people, I gave him that to make the fight. And then some. It's questions out there that need to be answered. Real talk. We need answers, bro. Seriously, we need answers. I ain't gonna lie to you. We need answers, bro. We need answers. I don't see how all this money is being tossed around now. And you're such in a given mode when you was just on Twitter last year talking about, you know, he was negotiating in bad faith, show people the drafts, all this other shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, which one is it? Like, which one is it? Y'all say Crawford fucked up and he did all. Now Crawford fight the infamous David Avanesian. God damn it! I know people. I know Gamboa is like, no. Why did you have to fight David Avanesian? They was talking about me all the time. Now they talking about Avanesian. Damn. I love them keeping me relevant. Gamboa can be walking around, in Florida. Somebody said, Gamboa, Papi, man, I keep Papi. I was listening to YTC and the debate that came on, Papi. And they was talking about your fight with Crawford. Yeah. Yeah, see. Yeah, they talk about me all the time for Crawford. Yeah, they keep me relevant. It makes my day, though. It makes my day. I wake up in the morning. That's my coffee. That's my caffeine. I love it. Te quiero mucho, mi amor. I love it. Gamboa be up there telling them. I love when they talk about my fight with Crawford, because somehow they always say that I was about to knock him out or I hurt him real bad. And they get it all wrong, but okay, I let them speak. They are wrong. They know nothing. They know nothing, but I ain't let them speak. I feel it. It's good, bro. I want to know why Crawford didn't check them for calling him a 2-division champ. I'm mad for him. Yeah. I look directly at him, man. I was trying to catch those moments, but I don't know what was going on. I heard that right off the rip, and I looked up there and I wanted to see. I was posted. I said, okay, what are he gonna say? What are he gonna say? What are he gonna say? He didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was something that was discussed to get the crowd into it or whatever, but I'm like, damn. First to the stage is 2-division world champion, former one. I'll say, oh my God. Come on, Jimmy Lennon. You the OG at this game, man. How you gonna do that, man? I guess Jimmy say, I have to keep my job. At the end of the day, if I say something fucked up, it's not my fault. Please come on down the red carpet there, Bud Crawford. 2-division, man. I can't blame Jimmy though, man. I think it would have, the way Crawford is, he definitely would have checked him. But you think Crawford the one signed they check? Man, please. You think they would have cared if Crawford was upset and they worked for Showtime? No, Crawford's just somewhat of a visitor to them. You know what I'm saying? They treat him like he's a visitor. That's all. They're not really showing him that hospitality like he should get for making one of the biggest fights in boxing. On the IG Live, Bud said he wanted to talk directly to Errol to make the fight, and Al told him no. But that's what made the fight this time, and they refused to give Crawford credit for that. At this point in time, I can say, man, I don't think Crawford's really waiting on any credit from anybody. We have Negroes that's on the YTC putting up Kunta Kinte thumbnails just to get attention, just to hear somebody like me speak on it. We're so disorganized, man. Some of us are extremely lost as a people. I don't think he's looking for any of that shit. They're not gonna give him credit. He go in there and whoop that ass. He gonna get credit. Look, Crawford's gonna get credit because he's gonna write another chapter to his legacy. He's gonna get credit when it comes to legacy, though. He's gonna get credit. But when you're talking about individuals that's not understanding that both of these fighters are on their way out the door, and one of these fighters might be hanging around longer than they should, you know what I'm saying, just because they have to, it's gonna be a whole different aura, man. Give it like 3 to 5 years. It's gonna have a whole different air quality to it on the YTC. They're doing it now, but who's gonna be next? They're steadily trying to build up, other rivals between black fighters. When Canelo has been scooping in and taking up all the money, but they refuse to criticize Canelo. You know what I'm saying? They just happy watching Mar Charlo, Errol Spence, Dimitri Andrade, David Benavidez. They just want to see them chase down, Canelo Alvarez. That's all. But when it comes to to the mid tier, they busy up here, all full blown out war of criticism and shit. You know, getting personal. It's not making any more money, man. You know, the fact that Crawford said he called him up in January and he fought December 10th of 22, and they're not even speaking on it. This just goes to show you, man, they don't care. They don't care, bro. Real talk, they don't care. They just don't care, bro. He's gonna get credit for July 29th. You can bet your money on that. He's gonna get credit. But as far as the reason why he's getting credit, that's yet to be seen. But I'm not really thinking and basically being negative. If I'm gonna prognosticate some, I'm not gonna put the what if and the theoretic and the hypotheticals and all this shit in there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep on, you know, drumming it up. The fight is nearing close and closer. The minutes are ticking away. All that shit. That's all I want to think about. What's going on, Bandelli in the building? What's good with it? Salute to you. I agree, man. And you're right. He didn't mention TBC. He didn't. That's that. And look, Crawford turned around. I'm telling you, man, they took shots at him, bro. Just like they was taking shots at me, man. Just like they was taking shots at me, man. They took shots at him, man. They didn't mention TBC. They mentioned the man was a 2-division champion. I'm telling you, man, they do shit over there. If you Hispanic and Latino, man, go over there to PBC, man. They get all the love in the world. You know what I'm saying? Go over there and deal with Kelly. You black media. Go over there and deal with Kelly, bro. Go ahead. She has this weird infatuation with me. Y'all go over there and try to get credentials. You know, if you linked up to a team, you might be able to get in. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to get in. I know what I see over there. All you gotta do is look at TV. Look at TV. Look at the press conference. Look at the weigh-in. Look at the heads. Look at the heads that you see in there. Look at the heads. You'll see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You'll see. You will see what's going on. Lost all the boxing on deck. The LAB. Salute to you. You'll see what I'm talking about, bro. But man, that's all I got for today. Appreciate the donation for Karate Body. Real talk. Thanks for everybody for pulling up. You know, we're going to continue to keep a close eyes on the situation when it comes down to, you know, the information is being put out here to the public. And also it's ticking away, y'all. It's ticking away. Real talk. It's ticking away. I hope AB is able to get himself on track. But I'm not going to be the one up here just giving some long, drawn-out lecture on this, that. Hey, man, I got problems, man. And, you know, Errol Spence said that he's an addict. You know, I mean, hey, of all people to say somebody's an addict, he say he's an addict. So now that we have Spence that saying that AB's an addict, I hope the man gets some help. He got some shit going on. And, you know, all those people that's around him, I hope he's able to listen. Man, I'm not going to get no lecture. Anyway, man, hey, y'all continue to support the channel, man. Appreciate you. One love to everybody, man. Hit the replay, share the content, hit the like button. I'm out.